Om Asatoma Satgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dear Mr. Bomraji, dear Dr. Aruna Khasgiwala, dear Mr. Pathye, dear Sri A.P. Singh, other dignitaries present here, invited guests, dear friends. I am extremely happy to be here this evening. At the outset, I would like to congratulate Indian Institute of Matters Management for achieving this rare feat about which we got the announcement just now. The Vadodara chapter has been so dynamic, and I am sure under the new dynamic leadership of the new team, the achievements will be much more, both qualitatively and quantitatively. I also congratulate the Indian Institute of Matters Management for the various activities they have been doing and the achievements so far. I am also thankful to them for giving me this opportunity of meeting you all this evening. The subject that has been announced is stress management in the current economic meltdown scenario. Now, those who have read newspapers today already stress is little less, I hope, because the good news is that this meltdown is melting down, and soon, if not soon, we may see the end of the tunnel after some time. It is at least not going to be as terrific or terrorful as we were thinking or imagining. That is the latest news, and the economy is slowly coming back. Not to normalcy, but slowly coming back, limping back. Not slowly coming back, limping back to the normal. And then also, the Sensex is also going up. You know, when Sensex goes up, and people also go start dancing. When it goes down, people also sing down. This is the psychological effect. But at present, the people are happy. Now, this is an age of globalization. Whether we want it or not, because of two reasons. Whatever happens in one part of the world is going to affect any part of the world simultaneously because of two reasons. Number one, communication technology has advanced. During last 10 years, there has been a tremendous development in the communication technology through internet, through cyberspace, through mobiles, through our communication technology, through satellites. Now the whole world has become one, and so they call that it is a global village. The transportation facilities have also advanced. Supersonic flights have come. Swami Vivekananda, when he started from India, from Bombay, on 31st May 1893, to participate in the World's Parliament of Religions held in Chicago. It took 1.5 months for him to reach there. In the month of July, he reached there in America, and now in the morning you sit in the flight from Bombay, night you are in New York. This is the fast development that has taken place. Swami Vivekananda, just now as you heard, there was an interfaith conference that we organized on 11th September 1893, because Swami Vivekananda went to America and delivered his historic speech at the World Parliament of Religions. That was the first Parliament of Religions. The fifth will be held in Melbourne. That was told by Mr. Cahill in our conference here, who had come all the way from Australia, that the fifth World Parliament of Religions will be held in Australia from 3rd to 9th of December this year, for which gala arrangements are being made in a very, very big way. But the first Parliament of Religions was held in 1893, And Swami Vivekananda delivered his historic speech. That was also 11th September. That was also 9/11. And on that day, Swami Vivekananda pointed out that dogmatism, fundamentalism, all this must go. Otherwise, we will have to pay a very heavy price. We did not listen to him. Exactly after 100 years, 9/11, the world tower broke. And even now, if we don't listen to the message of harmony of religions as given by Swami Vivekananda, based on his master Sri Ramakrishna's mandate, as many faiths, so many paths. In Bengali, he said, Joto mot, toto pot. As many faiths, so many paths. And he said this not out of any theoretical knowledge of any scripture or any book. He himself practiced all religions by turn. Hinduism, Christianity, Islam. And then he came to the conclusion that all religions lead to the same goal. That message of harmony of religions in this multi-faith, when all the countries are facing this problem, and we are having in all over the world, we are facing this problem of terrorism, which is nothing but an inverted form or a perverted form of dogmatism and fundamentalism. It is at that time that message of Swami Vivekananda is much more relevant. That is why every year we celebrate 11th September as the day of harmony, not as the day of destruction. Because Swami Vivekananda talked about harmony. And we arranged this topic, interfaith harmony, and we brought all the speakers. And all the speakers, they said, yes, we look upon other religions, we accept all religions. Now that is a new thing that is coming. Previously, the religions were intolerant and they were not able to accept. But now, gradually this shift is coming, paradise shift is coming. And the earlier it comes, the earlier we will have mental peace, earlier we will have world peace and all that. But anyway, what I was talking about is that it's a global village because of the communication technology. Second thing, globalization has come to stay, at least on economic front. Almost all the countries have now got liberalization of economic policies. And so, what happens if there is an economic meltdown in America, it is going to affect us. It has affected us to a certain extent. But the most important part of stress management is, I will tell you later on what are the various methods of stress management. One of the methods is developing positive mental attitude, PMA. For every event, for every incident, for everything, there are two ways. One is positive, one is negative. Now, PMA people take the positive side, NMA people take the negative side. That is the only difference. But every aspect, everything has got two aspects, positive and negative. So, how you look upon it, that is how you. Negative part of it is that economic meltdown because of the globalization is going to affect us. The positive part of it is that so far the Western nations were ruling the whole world economy. Now is the turn of Asia once again. India was on the top of the whole world economically. That was an economic superpower. And people from all over the world used to come to snatch away the jewels that were lying in our temples, in our various parts of the country. All the types of people were attracted by the enormous amount of wealth that India had. India was the most powerful country at that time in the history. Long back. And Swami Vivekananda, why I am positive about is that I am not an economist, but what I have heard from the economist, that there is a big challenge that is available in this economic meltdown of America. If we can explore this possibility, perhaps this adverse situation will turn in our favor and will be a great opportunity. This crisis can become a great opportunity for us, provided we take proper economic measures. Already some measures have been taken, but lot has to be done. But if we can do that, and if we can have a very positive positive way of looking at things, and then we implement certain things, economic policies, it may happen that along with China, India already is becoming superpower, but India may surpass even China at one stage. Because India has got certain distinct advantages, which is not with America. This is an opportunity when economic meltdown has come to America. That is the time when we can seize the opportunity. Let us have a look why this economic meltdown has come. I am not an economist, but what I have heard is that one of the reasons was that everybody started using credit card. And they started going to the malls and lot of advertisement, and particularly the most important customer and the most vulnerable customers for all the companies were children. And so the children would say, no, we will like this, and we have to get it. And likewise, first came consumerism, and then came affluenza. You know, Oxford Dictionary has added one more additional word, which was not there earlier. That is affluenza, not influenza. Influenza we get it also sometimes. But this is affluenza. This affluenza comes to affluent people only. What is that affluenza? Affluenza is a typical type of disease that has come to America a few years back only, where the children of the affluent people, they start having a craze for more and more items and new items. Within 1 month, they become bored by the number of items that they are having. They want new model of car, new model of mobile, new model of dress, new model of this one, everything new. And then more and more, 2 shoes, 5 shoes, 10 shoes, 1 car, 2 cars, more. And the more they get, the more dissatisfied they become. And they become a prey of mugi neurosis in the terms of psychological term. And then they become a slave of their consumers. That is why Erich Fromm had warned, one of the greatest psychologists of our time. Erich Fromm said in his book, To Have or To Be, that is the name of the book, where he says, man has become a commodity. He thinks himself like a commodity and acts himself like a commodity. This is what exactly you find. Man has become a commodity. He himself thinks like a commodity and sells himself like a commodity. Sells, yes. You know, you can purchase bridegrooms in UP, in Bihar. Since I will be able to tell better, I don't know the latest rate. But the rate that I heard for a bridegroom was 30 lakhs, 50 lakhs, and for an IS officer 75 lakhs. 1 crore, देखिए, booming inflation has come. अभी 1 करोड़ रुपया तुरंत आपको मिल जाएगा. So the bridegroom is being sold in Bihar, in UP, at 1 crore rupees, provided he is an IS officer. If he is a doctor, I think it is 75 lakh or 80 lakh, something like that. The highest rate is for IS officer, because IS officers can make much more money quicker from under the table. That opportunity is not there for doctors and engineers. So the father-in-law of that bridegroom knows that my daughter will be very happy, because every day my son-in-law will bring money from under the table. Will be creating the money from under the table, and my daughter will be very happy. This consumerism, and that consumerism has resulted in affluenza, and that affluenza is coming here also in India. That is, in America, the parents of the children have started affluenza-resistant society to protect their children. And they take, at the weekend, their children to the village side, to the rural side, and show them, you see, these poor and rural people, in America also they are poor people, don't think everybody is rich. In fact, the level of poverty is much more there. And there the poor people, they suffer much more. Because here at least poor people can maintain their livelihood without anything. You know, you can get some rickshaw, some bagging, some here and there. But there it is horrible. Horrible. I myself saw when I went to Switzerland, one young girl, very nice girl, she was selling newspapers. And then I said, I can't read that French newspapers. I said, I don't want. No. Please take. I mean, the way she was telling, She was telling in French, I could not understand, but the way she was imploring, as if she was suffering very much because of wants. Now what to do? And unfortunately, we are beggars, we don't have money. So somehow or the other, somebody took me for Europe tour because I had been invited by in the second international conference on disaster management. So they provided the money to and fro, some of the devotees, and one devotee took care of taking me in his car to all over Europe. But I don't have money, not at all, no rupee, what to talk of the franc. There in Switzerland it is franc. But in Europe now more or less it is all euro. No franc, no euro, no dollar, no pound, no money, no rupees. So what to do? And that girl is imploring so much. I was feeling very bad for her. I must do something. Suddenly the idea struck. It is just by chance. I had seen a very nice golden colored something inside the seat where I was sitting, just in front of me. Under the seat there was something golden thing was glittering. So I took it. I do not know what it was, but it was a golden platter or whatever it is was golden, I do not know. But there was something. First I thought it was a golden pen, but perhaps it was some lipstick or something like that, I do not know. But I didn't open it, but there was something like that. So I thought that I will deposit with the railway station when the train will reach there. Or when the TT or ticket checker comes, I will hand over to you. Then I changed my mind. Why not? Because when it goes to ticket checker, how he will find out who is the person who is in charge, who is the real owner of this. So it will not be very, why not give to this? So I gave that. And she was so happy. She was dancing. I gave this. I do not know what it was. But then, poverty is there in Europe, in America. Everywhere it is there. So this affluenza has come. Consumerism come in a big way, and that is one of the reasons for this economic meltdown. And that affluence has come here also. When I was in Rajkot, in Ramakrishna Mission, we also get transferred. We have 172 centers, branches all over the world, 40 centers abroad, rest in India, 4 in Gujarat, Rajkot, Lindi, Porbandar, and Vadodara. And just now, as you heard, I am here in Vadodara from last 4 years. On 18th April 2005, we received that historic Dilara bungalow in which Swami Vivekananda himself stayed as the guest of the then Diwan Manibhai Jashbhai in 1892, in April 1892. From here then Swami Vivekananda went southward, went to Kanyakumari and decided to cross the ocean, go to America and bring science and technology to end the poverty of our people, and in exchange give the spiritual treasures to the American people. And that is how he decided to go to a parliament religious. But in April 1892 he was here in Baroda, and in that Dilara Bungalow, which is situated just opposite Circuit House near railway station, Swami Vivekananda himself stayed. So we had been requesting the government of Gujarat to hand over this bungalow. On 18th April 2005, the government of Gujarat handed over the bungalow to convert this into befitting memorial of Swami Vivekananda. Very dilapidated bungalow, as you know. We are still repairing it and renovating it, and we have started many activities: library, mobile medical unit, value education programs, meditation hall, prayer hall, regular discourses. So many things are going on. And you are all welcome to visit this place. You must visit. New bookshop section is also there. So I am here in Baroda for the last 5 years only. Before that, 8 years I was in Porbandar, when we constructed 37 school buildings for these earthquake affected people and 3 colonies. Before that, I was for 10 years in Rajkot. I was editing the Gujarati monthly, Shri Ramakrishna Yoga. Of course, before that I was in the tribal development project in Ranchi, Jharkhand. That time it was in Bihar. But when I was in Rajkot, that time, one lady came and she started weeping in my office. And I said, what is the matter? No, I want to commit suicide. Everybody wants to commit suicide. What is that? So many people are coming. What is the matter? What is the problem? Then, so many problems they come. For Porbandar, so many ladies come to me for with the idea of suicide because their husbands would beat after having a lot of liquor. But here that problem was different, and there were so many other common types of problems. But here that was none of the common problems. No fight between husband and wife or this and that. So what is the problem? Any quarrel with husband? No. Then mother-in-law? No. Then what is the problem? Then she said that now I have become fed up. I cannot tolerate, I cannot take it anything, and it is now my tolerance level has come to zero, and now I want to give up, and I want to give up this body. What has happened? She said that she has a child, only one child. He is studying in 4th standard in one of the best schools of Rajkot. I will not name it. One of the most, very promising and very well-known schools. And he is now doing dadagiri at home. Then he came and said that, no, I want this dress, new dress. Then they said, no, I must get this dress. Then afterwards they got him this dress. And her husband is having a private business, not very rich, but they thought, let us give best possible education to the child. So they got that child admitted there with lot of expenditure, this and that. Now, a child comes next day sick. He says, I want this. Again they said, no, I must get it. Again he says, now I must have new shoes, 700 rupees at that time, 10 years back. Now it will be 5,000 rupees shoes. 700 rupees shoes I want. They said, how come every day new things, but your father is not earning this and that, so many things. No, I want these new shoes, or otherwise I will commit suicide. Simple, I will commit suicide. From how this small child. Then they said, my God, only one son committed suicide. They gave them. Then again, after 2-3 days, again, if I don't, now he got the method how to get it. If you don't give this, I will commit suicide. So every time he is doing dadagiri, if you don't give, I will commit suicide. He said, better I commit suicide. The mom said, I want to commit suicide, that no more I have to now deal with this child. So she came with I said, now one thing. Do you want the solution of this problem? Yes. The first thing is that you promise that you will not commit suicide. Then only I can go ahead. Okay, I promise. Second thing is that don't think this child is yours. Huh? Yes, it is not yours. Khalil Gibran says your children are not your children. They have come through you, but they are not children. They are the gift of God. And whenever God wants, God will take back that gift. Okay? If you believe in God, remember, it is not your child. God has given you, and whenever God wants, He will take it back. If you are agreeing with this premise, then the next step I will tell you. Yes, I agree. Then, if God wants to take that child from you, let Him take. You have to be bold. I am giving you very, very dangerous advice. What I am telling you, if he says, I want to commit suicide, you tell him, yes, to commit suicide. I don't mind. Because how long you will go on suffering? What is the end of the tunnel? You tell, yes, you commit suicide, I don't mind. You must be bold. And then tell, rather, you have to be very aggressive and say, pray to God, to give him right understanding, go on praying to God, but deal with him sternly and say, from tomorrow, this is our mistake, that we put you in this school which is meant only for the affluent people. And that is why you have become prey to affluenza. Now, we will shift you to another school which is for the general people. And we are all general people, common people. But be prepared. If he commits suicide, take it as God's wish. Are you prepared? Then you take this step. I was also not sure whether it click or not. But I said this is the only solution. So I told her to pray. And after 1 week she started laughing, coming to my chamber, and she was so much smiling and so happy. What happened? It had clicked. When I told him that you commit suicide, he was not prepared for this reply. Yes, you commit suicide. Whatever way you want. I am not going to give you these new shoes. Whatever you do. And then he said, and if you don't commit suicide tomorrow, we will be putting you back again to another school where you were studying, not this school, because this school has spoiled you. Then he implored, no, I will not commit suicide, but don't change my school now, otherwise my study will suffer. He came back to the track. But this affluence has come to India also. This consumerism. We want more. That has resulted in economic meltdown. Because everybody is spending more than what he or she can spend. It is going from the credit card, and these people also know the most vulnerable group is children, all types of advertisements, and they will see in the TV and the internet, video games, and they are all sold to this, and the parents will have to suffer. Sometimes the parents themselves also are prey to consumerism. They also want. I know when I went to Rajkot, I asked one lady, what is your hobby? She said, my hobby is shopping. Just I enjoy shopping. Now problem is that she has a daughter who is also 16-year-old, and she also got a hobby of shopping. Both are competing with each other, who will bring what items. Now the problem is, there was a house with 4 rooms, all the 4 rooms full of items. Now afterwards he came to me that I will commit suicide. Why? Only 4 rooms. And then I told her, you read the life of Sharda Devi. She stayed in a small, very, very small house, 4 feet by 6 feet by 8 feet. And for so many years she stayed, and she said, I was so happy, as if my heart was full of joy. With that small room, she was so happy, and you got 4 rooms, and yet you want a new house. Anyway, so afterwards I made her read the life of Sharda Devi. Then she was saved. Now this time when I met to Rajkot, she is still surviving. But again the problem is that she also got a new house. Her husband got her a new house, which is 8 rooms, but all the 8 rooms again are full of items. So the new problem. This problem of consumerism. You see, we are all suffering from Yayati syndrome. Yayati. Don't think that this consumerism or materialism is only from Western countries. Western countries it is there. But in India we have experimented with everything. We are experimenting it now. We experimented very, very earlier. You know, we had Charvak who believed in gross materialism. Yavat jivet sukham jivet runam krutva ghrutam pivet vasi bhutasya dehasya kuta punaragamanaha. Yavat jivet sukham jivet. As long as you live, enjoy the life. But how to enjoy the life? I don't have money. Don't worry. Take a loan. Yavat jivet sukham jivet runam krutva ghrutam pivet. Have nice things, eat nice things. By taking loan from others. And don't worry about paying back. Because the life is so transitory. After you are dead, who knows whom to give and whom to take? Yavat jivet sukham jivet runam krutva ghrutam pivet vasmi bhutasya dehasya kuta punaragamana. And when the person dies, who knows where he comes back or not to pay back the debt. Go on taking debt and having more and more of credit cards. Go to the shopping malls, purchase the items. Don't bother about paying back this loan, because the life is transitory. That was a new way of looking at them. And then Charvak was also there. Then our ancestors said no. They also made experiments. We had a king called Yayati. The story comes in Mahabharata and Bhagavata also. Yayati king, he wanted more and more of enjoyments. Now when he was enjoying life to the fullest, after all he was a king, what was lacking? Nothing. But when he was enjoying, he had a curse from a Muni. So he lost his youth. He became suddenly old. Now, with the old age you cannot enjoy. So, then, he said, no, this is what you have done. I wanted to enjoy more things and you have suddenly made me old. Please release me from this curse. Then the Muni said, no, the amount, the action that you have done cannot be forgiven. But anyway, since you are replying too much, I can give you one way out. If somebody can give you his youth in exchange of your old age, then you will become young and can enjoy. Now he was so shameless. He had 4 sons. So he went and told my eldest son, you see son, I have become old suddenly and I still want to enjoy. Then why don't you give your youth to me in exchange of my old age and let me enjoy? The eldest said, what? I to give you my young age? How is it possible? I am after all your son. I also want to enjoy. Second, third also refused. But the 4th son, had a lot of love and respect for his father. Yes, father, I'll give up my youth, you give me your old age. So the fourth son, the Puru, became old in very young age, and he got the youth of his youngest son. And again he started enjoying every type of enjoyment. But with that much enjoyment, again the old age came. And then he had the revelation in his mind. No amount of enjoyment can bring satisfaction to a human being. No amount of enjoyment. What he said, that even if you put any number of tons and tons of ghee into the fire, fire will not be extinguished. Rather it will go more and more. More and more. It will spread more. So, it is like this. If you go on satisfying the desires, there is no end to desires, material desires. And that is why Jayati learned that lesson at a very, very heavy cost. No, desires cannot be satisfied by fulfillment of desire. Desire can only be satisfied by giving up the desire. We can have real happiness. That was the experimentation that was done in India. That is why it is told. That is why in the Upanishad that is told. How to get peace of mind. We are talking about stress management. How to get peace of mind in this consumeristic world. Nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam eko bahunam yuvidhati kaman tam atmastam yenu pashyanti dhira tesham shanti shashvati netaresham. Nityo nityanam. There is an eternal Paramatman, the supreme reality residing within this permanent reality, the smaller reality called Atman. Nityo Nityanam. Chetanas Chetananam. The supreme consciousness is pervading the consciousness within each and every human being. Nityo Nityanam, Chetanas Chetananam, Eko Bahunam Yo Vidhati Kaman. That supreme reality is ruling the whole world. Tam Atmastham. That supreme reality, it is residing in everybody's heart. Tam Atmastham Yenu Pashyanti Dhira. Those who see this ultimate reality, supreme reality, having the nature of infinite supreme consciousness, infinite happiness, infinite peace, infinite bliss, Satchit Ananda. That Satchit Ananda, infinite knowledge and bliss is within each and every human being, irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion, nationality. So, by those who have seen that reality, they alone can have peace of mind. Nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam eko bahunam yo vidhati kaman tam atmastham yenu pashyanti dhira tesham shanti shashvati. They alone can have eternal peace, eternal joy, eternal happiness. None else. They made experiments. They came to this conclusion. That is what Upanishad says. Down the years we had a lot of other experiments. We have come to the conclusion, external objects can give us happiness. Surely it can give, but that happiness is not long-lasting. If we want long-lasting happiness, long-lasting peace, long-lasting this satisfaction, and not only that, if you want infinite happiness, infinite bliss, infinite joy, infinite knowledge, then we have to go in search for that. But where will we search? At present we are searching that infinite joy in the latest model car, latest model mobile, latest model gadgets, latest model laptop. No, it is not available there. Where it is available? At present you will not get it. After a long search, because most of us, we belong to the second category. There are three categories of people. In Bengali they say, keu dekhe shikhe, keu theke shikhe, keu theke na shikhe. Some people learn from others' experience, but some people they say, no, let me have my own experience. More than you, I ask them, you want first category or second category? No, we want second. We want to make an experiment, we want to fall down to the beach and spoil the clothes, and then we will learn not to go to that path. We want to be second category. Yes, they say. They tell me, this is the modern generation. So they want to learn from their own experience after having gone a lot of suffering Even they are seeing that other people are suffering. The Western youth are suffering due to drug addiction, AIDS, suicide. No, we also want to go in that path. Let us also suffer. And then we will come to the conclusion. This is the second. They learn through bitter experience. No, we don't want to go that way. And there is third category also. Theke or nashike. They fall again and again and they still go to the same path. So we want to have our own experience. But this experiment has been done previously by our forefathers, long back. The Western countries are still learning the lesson, but we in India, we have an Indian spiritual culture heritage where we had this experimentation done, and we have come to the conclusion that external objects can give us a little lift, a little joy, a little satisfaction for some time, but it cannot give us a lasting satisfaction. That can come only. We may be searching outside, so many places we may search. Ultimately, the search has to end in finding that supreme joy, in that supreme happiness. We will find out in vain was our search. That is like Kabir says, "Moko kahan tu dhunde bande, main to tere paas mein, khojoge to abhi milunga, pal bhar ki talash mein." The source of joy and happiness for which we are searching here and there, it is inside everybody's heart, and yet we are searching outside. नाभि कमल में है कस्तूरी, वृथा मृग फिरे बनकारे, बिन सद्गुरु नर ऐसे ही ढूंढे, जैसे फिरे पशु बनकारे. We are like that kasturi mrug, that deer, which is found in Himalayan deer, which is found in Himalayas. That Himalayan deer, what does it do? It is going running very fast. Why it is running? Because from somewhere it is getting the smell, the fragrance of mustard, of musk, that is kasturi. So that is why it is called kasturi mrug. Kasturi mrug. That is musk deer. The name of that deer is musk deer. That musk deer is running in search of that musk, and that is why after a long search, running, it becomes tired and dies. Afterwards it was found out that musk was already in the navel of that musk. That is why it is said, similar is our case. We are searching for happiness in the latest model car, latest model gadgets, latest model bungalow, latest model aircraft, everywhere, latest model car, latest model pen, latest model mobile, everywhere, latest model pen drive. And for which sometimes there is a murder also between the youths. This is all we are going. Why? Ultimately, we do not know that the source of infinite joy is within us. नाभि कमल में है कस्तूरी, वृथा मृग फिरे बनकारे, बिन सद्गुरु नर ऐसे ही ढूंढे, जैसे फिरे पशु बनकारे. The source of infinite joy is within yourself, within each and every human being. And that is why Sri Ramakrishna says, out of 84 lakhs of species, only one species called human being can realize the infinite Brahman, which is within each and every human being, and can have access to infinite joy, infinite bliss and infinite happiness. Only human beings can have. Nobody else. Out of 84 lakhs of species. That is what our Indian scripture says. So when you got this human birth, try to realize God. Try to manifest the divinity. Try to get that infinite joy. That was the teaching of Sri Ramakrishna. You read the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, wonderful book. Millions of copies have been sold in various languages of the world. Again and again he says, try to manifest the divinity. Try to realize God. You will get infinite joy, infinite bliss. But where is that Atman? Where is that Paramatman? Where is that reality? Sri Ramakrishna says it is inside each and every human being. Where it is? Inside everybody's heart. Esha sarveshu bhuteshu gudo atma na prakashate drishyate kavraya buddhya shukshmaya shukshmadarshini. Inside every human being is that supreme reality. Irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion or nationality. The devotee said, sir, you are telling that supremacy is within everybody's heart. But we are not realizing it. We don't see it. How do we believe it? What is the proof? This is the question. Everybody says there is Paramatman, Atman. But who has seen it? Everybody says there is God. Who has seen it, God? No. We are all the students of science. We cannot accept just because you are telling there is God within. I will not believe. This is our problem of the modern age. We are all skeptics. Sanshaya has gone inside us. We are doubting. So, on behalf of all of us, there was one student, on behalf of all of us, one student who also studying in our Lord Maypole's Policy of Education. He was studying in Scottish Church College. Later on it became a General Assembly College. He was studying there. And he also came to this conclusion that no, there is nothing called God. Because we are not able to see it. Because I want documentary evidence. He was the son of a lawyer. He said documentary evidence I want. So where is the documentary evidence? Nobody could give. And whenever any saint used to come to Calcutta, I am talking about Calcutta, that was the capital of India. He used to go. His name was Narendranath Dutt. Later on became Swami Vivekananda. But that time was Narendranath Dutt. He also became skeptical. He had read Kant, Hegel, Spencer, John Stuart Mill, so many Western philosophers. After reading that, he became an agnostic. No, I don't believe there must be God. If God is there, why I am not able to see? So he became a skeptic. And so any saint person coming and he is talking about God. Sir, have you seen God? He used to ask this question. Nobody could reply satisfactorily. He became disappointed. But he wanted the answer. He was in search of that supreme reality. Then he heard that Maharishi Devendranath Tagore, he also meditates too much on God. Maharishi Devendranath Tagore was the leader of Brahma Samaj. He was the father of Rabindranath Tagore. So one day he went to Maharishi Devendranath Tagore, who used to stay in a cabin, in a ship. So he went to that ship, entered the cabin and asked the question, Sir, I have a question to ask. Yes, my boy. Sir, have you seen God? I heard you are meditating too much on God. I want to ask you one question. Sir, have you seen God? Maharishi Devendranath Tagore looked at him for some time and said, My dear boy, your eyes are beautiful. Those of a yogi. Narendranath became disappointed. I am asking the question, whether have you seen God? He is telling your eyes are beautiful. I don't want appreciation of my eyes. I want the answer. He became dissatisfied. One day when he had gone to the college, that day the professor who used to teach English literature was absent. Nowadays if the lecturer is absent, have a holiday, nice, enjoy. But that time that was not there. The principal was Professor William Hastie. He himself came to take the class of English literature. And he was teaching them from Wordsworth. The name of the poem was The Excursion. And there a description comes where the poet enters trance, goes into supreme consciousness, supreme stage of consciousness and supreme state of samadhi. And the students ask, Sir, is it possible that any human being can go to superconscious state? Is it possible to reach that samadhi state? Then the principal said, Yes, my boys, I think it is possible. I have myself seen one person who frequently enters into this superconscious state in samadhi state. And if you want to see, you can also see that person because that person stays in Calcutta only. There is a temple of Dakshineshwar, Mother Kali. Sri Ramakrishna Paramas stays there. He enters into this samadhi state often. If you want, you can see him. Then I say, okay, let me also check up with this person, so-called Paramahansa. I'll just check up and test this Paramahansa. So he went to Dakshineshwar, that the temple of Mother Kali. There was a room of Sri Ramakrishna by the side of the Ganges. He entered from the Ganges side, sat down on one corner. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on the small cot. There are two cots. Even now those two cots are there in that room. Even now. Same cots. There are two cots. One small cot on which Sri Ramakrishna used to sit and talk, and another cot where he used to sleep. So Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on the small cot and the devotees were sitting on the floor listening to his advice. He was talking about God. And Narendranath came down, sat down by the corner, silently listening everything. After some time, he told Sri Ramakrishna, now enough of your talk about God. Now answer my question. Have you seen God? And for the first time he received a satisfactory reply. Yes, my dear boy, I have seen God. Then he added, not only that, I am seeing Him more intensely than I am seeing you. And then he added, and if you want, you also can see him. But you will have to undergo spiritual practice. And that is the science of religion. The science says H2 plus O2 is equal to H2O. I don't believe. Hydrogen is a gas, oxygen is a gas. How can it be water? It's not a question of belief. Come to the laboratory, have a hydroelectric process, mix hydrogen, oxygen and get water. If you don't get, then say, I don't believe. It's not a question of belief. Experiment. So Sri Ramakrishna gives a challenge. I have seen God. You also can see. But you have to come to the laboratory and make experiment and undergo spiritual practices. Narayana accepted the challenge. He underwent spiritual practices, and one day in Kashipur, when he was sitting there, it was in 1885, he got that transcendental reality, that supreme consciousness. He realized God. He had the vision of that supreme reality. That is why, because he had that transcendental experience, that is why at the World Parliament in Chicago, he could exclaim with his realization, with his conviction, the shloka from the Shweta Upanishad, where she says, Shurvantu Vishve Amritasya Putra Aye Dhamani Divyani Tastu Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat Tameva Viditwati Mitameti Nanya Pantha Viditayana. I have seen the ancient one who is beyond all mysteries. By knowing him alone, you shall receive from all mysteries. This is what he told. And that is why Swami Vivekananda, the World Parliament Religion, is told all the people sitting there, ye the children of immortal bliss, holy and perfect beings. The Hindus refuse to call you sinners. Sinners, Vedanta does not recognize sin. It recognizes error. And the greatest error Vedanta says you are making when you say that you are a sinner. You can never be a sinner. This is the first time he bombarded those teachings of Vedanta in the Parliament religions in America, where Swami Vivekananda says, no, we don't say you are a sinner. Let me, brothers, call you. What a beautiful name. Shurvantu Vishve Amritasya Putra. You are the children of God. Amritasya Putra. Children of God. You are not sinners. That is a Western concept. Vedantic concept is children of God. Amritasya Putra. But the other concepts are, Aristotle says, what is a man? First of all, social work faculty. Yes, some students are there. You ask them, what is a man? Immediately they say, man is a social animal. Isn't it? This is what they have been taught. Madam has told. Madam has told her God called from her madam. Man is a social animal. But Aristotle says, no. Man is a political animal. But after all, he is an animal. But Benjamin Franklin says, no. Man is a tool-making animal, but he is an animal. Alvin Toffler says, no. Man is an economic animal, after all, he is an animal. But the Eastern concept is, no. Man is not an animal. What is man? Shudvantu Vishve Amritasya Putra. You are the children of God. Immortal bliss. You are the children of immortal bliss. Holy and perfect beings. Ye diviners are not sinners. It is a sin to call a man so. It is standing liable on human nature. Come upon lions and shake up the delusion that you are sheep. Your soul is immortal. Spirits free. Blessed and eternal. You are not matter. You are not bodies. Matter is a servant. Not ye the servant of matter. That is the message Swami Vivekananda gave to the Americans. And they got new energy, new life. So far they had been advised, you are sinners, you will be going down. There is no future for you. But here is the Indian monk. That is why overnight he became famous, because he gathered energy. First of all, he told, dear sisters and brothers from America, they felt, here is a brother who has come from all the way from India to meet us. They felt, why? Because Swami Vivekananda spoke those words from his heart and not from the mouth. 7,000 people stood and clapped for 3 consecutive minutes. It was all a historical moment. Why? Because the realization come from within. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. He really believed that the whole world is one. We are talking about globalization, but global civilization is yet to emerge. And unless until we have a global civilization, we cannot have a global peace. This global civilization will come only if we have people like Swami Vivekananda who had global heart, universal heart, who could feel for the whole of humanity, irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion, nationality, any part of the world, anywhere. Swami Vivekananda would get that particular shock. One day Swami Vivekananda was in Belur Math, our headquarters in Belur Math. He was in his room. On the first floor, you will find, if you go to Belur Math, there is a building where Swami can stay on the first floor. The room has been kept as it is. His turban, his clothes, his table, his chair, his musical instrument, everything as it is, as if Swamiji stayed there. So Swamiji was there staying in his room, and by the side was a small room where his brother disciple Swami Vivekananda used to stay. At night, Swami Vivekananda found that somebody is walking on the veranda, and there is a veranda facing the Ganges. Somebody is walking on the veranda. At night, dead of night, 1 o'clock, who is walking? He came out and he saw Swami Vivekananda himself is walking. Why, Swamiji? Why you are not getting sleep? Why are you walking at that dead of hour of night? Then Swami Vivekananda said, you see Passion, his name was Hari Prasanna, Vivekananda's other name. So he used to call him Passion. Passion, you see, I was fast asleep. Suddenly there was a shock. Somebody shook me. There was a shock that I got. And I am feeling a great sorrow in my heart. I don't know. I think some catastrophe has taken place somewhere in the world, because of which I got suddenly that shock, and because of which my sleep has been broken, and because of which I am feeling so much sorrowful. Swami Vivekananda thought, what is this Swamiji talking about? So in some part of the world there is catastrophe, and here he is feeling that shock and all that. This cannot. He said, no Swamiji, you sit down, nothing has happened, you sleep nicely, nothing will happen. But Swamiji could not sleep. Next day in the morning, Vivekananda Maharaj saw the newspaper, he was astonished. Exactly at the time when Swami Vivekananda received that shock, at that time there was a great earthquake in Fiji Island, and thousands of people had died, and that shock had come like a seismograph. Swami Vivekananda, universal heart, caught those waves. That is the universal heart. Swami Vivekananda, that universal heart, who felt irrespective of caste, with color, religion, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, he exactly followed. He was the person, a global leader, who could lead the global civilization, who could bring about the global civilization. But that is what it is. Swami Vivekananda gave that message to the Americans. That is why when in America, they found out who are the 100 great leaders who made up New America, and one of the names is Swami Vivekananda. Eleanor Stark, she has written a book. The name of the book is Gift Unopened, where she says, we received the best gift in the form of Swami Vivekananda from Indian spiritual culture, but so far we have not been able to read that book, because we gave that message but we are not following. That is why we are suffering. And Americans are suffering economic meltdown. Why it has come? They did not take the message of Swami Vivekananda, and that reflection of that economic meltdown has come to us. Why? Because we are also not following the message of Swami Vivekananda. What is the message of Swami Vivekananda? Remember, each soul is potentially divine. The goal of human life is to manifest this divinity within, by controlling nature external and internal. Do this either by work, worship, psychic control or philosophy, by one or more or all of these, and be free. This is the whole of religion. Dogmas, rituals, worship, temples, churches, mosques are but secondary details. Each soul is potentially divine. Inside everybody is every human being, there is a center of consciousness called Atman. Previously we were not able to scientifically verify. Now the modern science says, yes, there is IQ, there is EQ, there is SQ. Yesterday, on 12th, there was a conference at our seminar on value education, where I told Dana Zohar, she is a professor in Oxford University. She has written a book. The name of the book is SQ, Spiritual Intelligence, the Ultimate Intelligence, where she says neurologically, physiologically, psychologically, neurologically, from every point of view, there is a concluding evidence. There is something called SQ, which is the basis of both IQ and EQ. And what is IQ? IQ will tell you how to play the game of life. What is EQ? Emotional quotient, emotional intelligence. Daniel Goleman made a research in 1991. He said EQ is more important than IQ. What is EQ? EQ will tell you how to play the game of life under changed circumstances with changed strategies. And what is SQ? SQ will tell you whether to play the game of life at all or not. Well, that is your choice. What is the purpose of life? What is the meaning of life? Why I am born? in this world? What is the ultimate aim of life? We have never bothered about it. What is the meaning of life? We have never bothered about it. I ask many youngsters, what is the aim of life? Oh, aim of life, I want to become engineer, doctor, chartered accountant, this, that. It's okay, but what is the ultimate aim of life? Oh, I never thought about it. When will you start thinking? After the last call has come from Yamraj. But then nothing is to be done. Then nothing is to be done. I remember a Zen story. A horse was galloping at full speed. And somebody asked the person who was sitting on the horse, where are you going? And the person said, ask the horse. Because I am not taking the horse, horse is taking me. Similarly, we are not leading life. Life is leading us. We don't know the aim of life, purpose of life. That is SQ, spiritual intelligence. The aim of life is to manifest the divinity within. How to do it? Already divinity is there. We don't have to get from somewhere. We don't have to go to Mars or Moon and all that. It is already within everyone of us. At present, we are not going to feel it. Sri Ramakrishna was talking about this, that you must realize God. You must realize the Paramatma. But you are talking, but we are not feeling. How do you believe? Sri Ram said, okay, do you believe that I am talking with you? Yes. How? Because we are seeing you. So we know that you are talking. Then immediately Sri Ram had this type of chadar. He immediately put on his face. He covered his face with this, like this, and said, can you see me? No. That means I am not there? No, you are there. Just now you say, if you can see, you are there. If you cannot see, you are not there. So I am not able to see, so I am not there. No, you are there. Then why you are not able to see? There is a covering. Similarly, he said, though I am so near, you are not able to see because of this covering. If similarly, God, Paramatman, Atman is inside everybody's heart, so very near. But we are not able to see or feel it. Why? Because there is a screen covering the reality. That is why Kabir says, Gungat ka pat khol re, tohe piya milenge, kattu ko vachan mat bol re, tohe piya milenge. You will realize the Supreme Atman, the beloved. You will get how? Remove the covering. How to remove the covering? 4 paths. Number 1, Jnana Yoga. That is, try to analyze, who am I? Am I this body? No. Sometimes I say, my body is aching. That means you are not the body. Then, am I the mind? No. Today my mind is not in good mood. I am not the mind. Am I the intellect? No. Today my intellect is not working. So I am not the intellect. I have got the intellect. Then, am I the heart? No. Today my heart is paining because of separation. Then, who am I? Beyond body, mind, heart, there is some reality with whom I am one. That is the Supreme Consciousness. That is Atman. And that is beyond all misery. How to get it? By analyzing. Number 1, Jnana Yoga. That is reading good books, positive books, and thinking about it. Particularly thinking about one's real nature. That is Jnana Yoga. Or, to put it simply, I will say, every day read positive books. For getting happiness and peace in everyday life, and for getting infinite happiness and peace in everyday life. For both, what I would advise is, first is Jnana Yoga. That is, read every day, particularly while going to bed, a few pages from very inspiring books. The best books are most inspiring, like an electric current you find, is Swami Vivekananda books. Very electrifying. Swami Vivekananda book, or any book that gives inspiration, very powerful, that you read at the time of going to bed. But that is Jnana Yoga. Reading the book and thinking over it. For the modern man, I tell this, rather don't go for another Jnana Yoga. If you cannot have Upanishad or Gita, doesn't matter. Go through the modern inspiring books. Number 2, Bhakti Yoga, prayer. Pray to the Lord. The best prayer is Swami Vivekananda says in his book on Raj Yoga. He says, at long last you will understand, not now. At long last you will understand. The best way to become happy is to see that others are happy. And the best way they get peace of mind is to pray for others' peace of mind. And so he says, before you start meditation in the morning, start with this prayer. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kashchid dukma bhayat. Let all be happy, let all be happy, let all become good, let none get misery. What a beautiful prayer. Irrespective of caste, creed, color, religion, nationality. Swami Vivekananda says, if you go on praying like this, have unselfish prayer. Within a few days you will realize that you are getting peace of mind. By praying for others' peace of mind, you yourself will first get the peace of mind. And if you pray for your own peace of mind, you will not get the peace of mind. This is a very great paradox. Experiment it. Pray for others' peace of mind. But it must be from the bottom of your heart. Some people they say, "Oh Lord, all be happy." Then they put the bracket, minus my mother-in-law. "Oh Lord, let all be happy," minus my daughter-in-law. "Oh Lord, let all be happy," minus my husband. "Oh Lord, let all be," minus my wife. No, don't put a bracket there. When you pray, unselfish prayer, let all be happy. If you can pray like this, at the time of prayer at least let there be no quarrel. Then you will find within a short time you are getting peace of mind. This is to be experimented and verified. This is Bhakti Yoga. Pray to the Lord for devotion, for love, and also pray to the Lord to give happiness and peace to others. That is Bhakti Yoga. Then there is the Raj Yoga. Raj Yoga is Ashtanga Yoga. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pratyahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. Yam is 5. Satya, Asteya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha. And Niyam is 5. Shauch, Santosh, Tap, Swadhyaya, Ishwar Pranidhan. But to tell you briefly for the modern man, I say follow the modern principles and meditate. Meditation brings great peace of mind. It will give you peace instantly. It will also lead you to Samadhi, that is infinite peace. Both will be obtained. Have a little bit of meditation. Now the modern scientists have discovered by meditating properly, even blood pressure goes down. Yes, bypass surgery can bypass. They can be bypassed by having regular meditation. They made a lot of experiments and they came to this conclusion. So most of the diseases are psychosomatic in nature, and so for this bypassing so many diseases, they are going for meditation in America and other countries. 10 million of Americans are having regular meditation. 75 of the fitness clubs are having regular meditation and yoga in these fitness clubs. And many of medical schools, 92 out of 125 medical schools have got regular courses on alternative medicine, including yoga and meditation. So meditation is an inward everywhere. Why? Because that is giving peace of mind. There is an experiment that they have made. A Zen monk was meditating and they put EEG machine and they started observing the graph. After some time they found 10 to 12 cycles per second of alpha waves. When the meditation deepened, they found 8 to 10 cycles per second of alpha waves. And after some time when the meditation very deep, they found 6 to 7 cycles per second of theta waves. And theta waves is a measure of tranquility. So they have scientifically proved meditation gives you tranquility. Meditation gives you peace of mind. And that is why now many people in America and other countries, they are going for meditation. We are not going because ours is a secular country and we believe in, imported things. We like imported car, imported pen. We will have imported meditation. Now it is given free by us. Nobody is taking. But when they will be involved, then these Western people will come, $1,000. Yes, that is good meditation. They have learned from us. But that imported meditation, when it costs more, then you feel. Then you want instant samadhi, $10, $100, $1,000 instant samadhi. And there are so many shops that are open. This commercial has come in the field also because law of demand and supply. Anyway, but people want peace of mind. That is why they go. But meditation will give peace of mind. Regular meditation, minimum start with 1 minute, 1 minute meditation. 1 minute prayer, 1 minute of reading good books. Start with 1 minute because I know you are having shortage of time. Time management, of course, time management can be another subject that is, we'll go for hours together. But at present already my time is ending. So I will go for the last, that is Karma Yoga, converting work into worship. Every day, whatever we are doing, everything can be converted to worship with a worshipful attitude. And Karma Yoga also means unselfish service. A little bit of unselfish service immediately will bring peace of mind. I will end my talk with an incident which happened in the life of Swami Vivekananda. When Swami Vivekananda went, actually I have not yet started my talk, the stress management at all I have not started, but the time has ended. But anyway, I have told the basic things. Now, when Swami Vivekananda went to America, to participate in the World Scholar of Religions. He was very well received. So for 4 years he was there, staying there, preaching the message of Vedanta. At that time, the richest person of the world was John D. Rockefeller, the emperor of petroleum industry. And of course, as you know, it happens, he went into cutthroat competition, and there were many murders that he made and all that, he did and all that. So he was suffering from mental disorder. And he was so much depressed, he was contemplating suicide. At that time, one of his friends suggested, why don't you come to my friend's house where an Indian yogi is lodging, and his name is Swami Vivekananda, and after talking to him, you may get some peace of mind. Rockefeller, he was the richest person in the world, and naturally he was egoistic. What? I have to go to a beggar to get advice? No, I'll not go. We are all beggars. Professional beggars, habitual beggars. We are all monks. We don't have, we survive on charity. So he said, what? I have to go to beggar? I will not go. He did not go. But one fine morning, suddenly, he went to the place of residence where Swamiji was there. He called the bell, the butler opened the door, and he went inside. And without making any announcement, Swamiji was not in his drawing room, he was in his study room. He went inside the study room. But Swamiji was used to a lot of concentration of mind. So he was so much engrossed, he did not notice Rockefeller coming. Rockefeller stood for some time near the table. Then he knocked at the table. And Swamiji looked up. Then Rockefeller said, I am Rockefeller. Swamiji was sitting there, what do you want? Now Rockefeller was not prepared for this type of treatment. Rockefeller, if he comes, the President of America would get up. And here's the fellow sitting and asking, what do you want? He said, I don't want anything. Then Swami Vivekananda asked him, why have you come? Now he had no reply to give, because he had come without any invitation. Then Swami Vivekananda said, my dear Rockefeller, I know why you come. You come here because you don't have peace of mind. And then Swami Vivekananda said, my dear Rockefeller, I'll give peace of advice. Remember, you are not the owner of your wealth. You are only a custodian of your wealth. Utilize this money for removing sufferings of poor people, and immediately you will get peace of mind. There is no other way by which you can get peace of mind. Rockefeller was not prepared to listen to anybody's advice, least of all from a beggar. So he, out of this anger, he just walked up the room and left the room abruptly he had come. But after a few days again he came, similar fashion, called the bell, the butler opened the door, again he went inside, Swamiji was not in his drawing room, again he went to the study room, the Swamiji was fully engrossed, again he knocked, then Swamiji looked up, then Rockefeller put a piece of paper in which he had made an announcement of a very huge donation for a public cause. And when Swami Vivekananda read it, Rockefeller said, now you must thank me, I followed your advice. Swamiji said, well, it is for you to thank me. Because by following my advice, you will get peace of mind which cannot be purchased by millions of dollars in the market. And then, as you know, Rockefeller started Rockefeller Foundation. With that foundation, a lot of research has been done, even Nobel Prize winning research has been done. That has saved a lot of humanity, but that inspiration received. In his autobiography he says, life is for giving. The more you give, the more joy you will get. That lesson he had learned from Swami Vivekananda. And from him, from that family, Bill Gates, the present richest man in the world, got his message. When Bill Gates came to Calcutta, the newspapers, the journalists, they asked, why you come to India? Because I have great respect for Indian culture, heritage and spirituality. How did you develop? By reading the books of Swami Vivekananda. Have you read any book of Swami Vivekananda? He said, I do not go to bed without reading a few pages from the books of Swami Vivekananda. I was astonished when I read it. I was not ready to believe it, because my concept of Bill Gates, who believes in cutthroat policy. But then later on when I read, after 2 years, that in 2000, he gave up, he really started Melinda and Bill Gates Foundation. And he said, I will give all my money, and keeping only $10 million for his children, rest all the money, $30 billion, he gave to that Melinda Bill Gates Foundation. And from last few years, he has been the person who is making maximum charity. He has done that. Now I can understand. He must have read the book of Swami Vivekananda. He must have received the message of trusteeship management. For the first time in the corporate sector, Swami Vivekananda gave that message to John D. Rockefeller. Today, so many are receiving that message of trusteeship management. If we want to have peace of mind, if we want to have stress management, in this economic meltdown, step number 1, avoid consumerism. Beware of Yayati syndrome. Don't become a prey of affluenza. Don't use the credit card. Don't tell the bank people they will kill me. But in private I am telling that try to reduce credit card. Bite as much as you can chew. And spend as much as you earn. Not more than that. And beware of consumerism. And second thing is unselfish service. Immediately will bring peace of mind. If you can't do anything, at least pray for others unselfishly. And if you can do a little bit of unselfish service, wherever you are, wherever we are, whatever we can do, if not in cash, in kind, tanman dhanti, jenati seva ki sati, whatever. So many devotees have come to the ashram. Many people cannot give donation, doesn't matter. They give their honorary services. So many activities are there, they help us. If not, at least you pray and meditate inside the meditation room. That will give holy vibration to the room. So when anybody comes, they will feel peace of mind. Even that also is a great service. Do something for the others and immediately you will get peace of mind. I have already taken too much of your time. I have exceeded the time. But I think this was necessary because in economic meltdown, we have lost our way. We have lost the basic purpose of life. And we are having there. You see the whole, I have not yet started with stress management. The normal stress management here, Mr. A.P. Singh will tell you, so many methods of stress management, but I never touched it because I went the other way around. That is, these are all common things. If we can follow this, then other things will automatically follow. We know the purpose of life, follow the 4 methods, 4 yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Raj Yoga. Every day you will have peace of mind. And that is the best method of stress management and the only long-lasting method. The modern systems of, this stress management, they will give some effect, but they are not foolproof. What is the method? Western psychologists, they say, why do stress comes? When you suppress your desire, and that is inside your subconscious, it goes into the subconscious mind and creates stress. So what you should do? You express your desire. My God, if I express my desire, I will leave the job. I will lose the job. Why? Because I go to the office, suddenly in the morning the boss comes. Without any fault of mine, just because when he was coming out of his house, his wife had fired at him. He can't give any reply because she will go away to her own house. So he can't say anything there. He comes here and unjustifiably he fires at me without my mistake. And I also want to pay back in the same coin. I also know how to pay back. But what to do? I keep mum. I pocket that insult. That goes inside the subconscious mind and that creates problem. So the modern psychologists say, no, you must express your anger. My God, if I express my anger, I will lose the job. Then the psychologist, don't worry, we have got a solution for you. What is the solution? Go to the market and purchase voodoo dolls. Voodoo dolls are available, along with the keys are available. Come to the house and close the doors and windows. Put the voodoo doll on the table and then write down the name of your boss, or your mother-in-law, or your husband, or your wife, whoever you want to put anger on, write down the name and there are 3 types of pins available. Blue pins available for injury, black pins for serious injury, and if you want to murder your boss, red pins are available. Just murder. And so have a nice sleep, no need of tranquilizer. No need of tranquilizer. And you have already murdered your boss and you have put all your emotions have been ventilated. This is the modern psychological method, very good method, but unfortunately not. It is a short-lived method because next day again the boss is sitting on the chair, what to do? You killed him inside your house, but next day again he is sitting on the chair. So these are all short-term methods. That is why all the people are now coming at the feet of holistic style of stress management. Meditation, yoga, positive thinking, positive reading, serviceful attitude. These are the various methods of stress management which will not only give you stress-free life, happiness and peace in everyday life, but will also give you eternal happiness, eternal peace and eternal life. Thank you very much.